Good morning. So, this morning I am going to do a practice really about space and making space and really just appreciating space. So, something that has really become apparent to me as we maybe head towards easing the lockdown is that this wonderful opportunity we've been given to allow ourselves to have a bit more space in our lives might be starting to come to an end. So it's just really become very apparent to me that I want to try to carry on some of the lessons learned from this situation for myself. I'm very guilty of trying to fill my space with things. So if I have a little bit of space, I feel like I need to be doing something in order to feel like I'm happy with that and I've achieved something. It's sort of a weird thing that I've always had, and I think a lot of us do have. So yeah, this has really got me thinking. And one of the things that has really always helped me to find a little bit of space has been my yoga practice. Just that, if you think about how every yoga class starts, it starts with a pause, it starts with a space, and it really encourages us to be in the space that we're in our environment, and the space within our bodies. Who's here? Oh, hi everybody. Hi Helen. Hi Vicky. Hi Louise. Hi Jack. It's nice to see you guys. So I thought I would do a focus on space today, and just how much space we have available to us even when we think we don't. So even when we're busy, hi James, even when life is busy and it becomes more busy again, just really appreciating the space that you can find for yourself in any way that you can. Okay, so it's also the full moon, so I thought we would do a moon salute to start with, a Chandra Namaskar. I quite like this one because it involves some side bending and some a goddess squat, which really help make me feel more spacious in my body, and give me that feeling of a little bit more freedom than perhaps the sun salute. So we'll start with that one. So if you come to your mat, and we're going to start facing the long edge of the mat. So if you come up to the left-hand side of your mat, and you're going to basically keep facing this direction, and we're going to go side to side with it. Let's bring our feet hip distance wide, spread the toes, and make some space between all of those little toes. Maybe even look down and see the mat between your toes, and literally see the space that you've got there. Really broadening the feet. And let's take a moment to spin the palms of the hands forwards as we rotate the shoulders as well. So we're finding space here in the very front of the shoulders. Just a sense here that this space is broadening as you gently draw the shoulder blades towards one another. See if you can allow there to be some space under the arms, so where the armpits are, rather than them tight into the body. Just a little bit of space, and this lovely long space between the earlobes and the top of the shoulders. As you draw the crown of the head up, maybe close the eyes for a moment. See if you can find a sense of space and openness across the face. So can you broaden and smooth the brow, releasing and relaxing all of those lines, and let the eyes be nice and smooth and soft. Bring your awareness to the space in the mouth. See if you can allow a softening here of the lower jaw away from the top jaw. So there's a lovely space between the teeth at the back. And let the tongue relax away from the roof of the mouth. Noticing that space within the mouth. And bringing your awareness to your breath, start to deepen the inhale And as you breathe in, just allowing the belly to soften. And as the belly relaxes, the abdominal muscles relax, just allowing a sense that the lungs can drop down deeper into the body. So there's space for them to move down as you allow the belly to expand forwards. And as the lungs drop down, thinking about breathing into the bottom of the rib cage, so all the way around to the back of the ribs, side of the ribs, front of the ribs. Feeling like you're making space for those lungs as you just use a little bit of the musculature around this area to open up those lower ribs. And then the exhales, nice and long and slow and steady and completely breathing out. So we want to really empty the lungs so that we have more space to breathe into on the inhale. So completely empty. And then allow the next inhale to come down and into the belly. So nice slow breaths. And just exploring, if you can, a little space at the top of the inhale. So no movement of breath in or out. Almost like a little tipping point before the exhale. So we're not holding the breath, we're just finding that moment of stillness. And then at the bottom of the exhale, again, no movement of breath. There's no breath in the body. There's just that pause, that dwelling space there. Before the next inhale naturally comes in. If you want to, you can engage your Ujjayi breath. Use it if you know what you're doing and you feel comfortable with it. Just becoming a little bit more aware of those breaths and the quality of the breaths being really steady and smooth and balanced between the inhale and the exhale. So our Ujjayi breath is just a gentle closing of the back of the throat so you can hear the breath sound. Lovely. And just resolving to yourself now to find a little space in your practice. So we're going to have some opportunities to pause. And sometimes we feel when we're stopped that we need to be doing something, either with our breath or with our mind or with our body. But can we just stop? Can we just enjoy those spaces? You're just resolving to yourself to notice the spaces and be okay with them. Explore them. Okay, opening the eyes. Keeping that breath going. We're going to cross the right leg up and over the left and place the toes on the floor. As we inhale, we're going to circle the arms out wide. Just move over a bit. Take a hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Grow nice and long through that right side. And exhale, come into a side bend, and you're going to pull on the wrist to help really lengthen all the way down that right side. So we'll just have a couple of lovely breaths here. Feeling into the side body and the space you're making, the shoulder, the rib cage, the waist, the hip. Lovely. And then inhale to come back up. We're going to step out nice and wide with that right foot. Palms touch each other at the top, and then swivel the heels in and the toes out. I'm going to sink down into a goddess squat. So bring those hands down to heart center. Don't go too deep. This is the first one of the day. But as you come down here, just spreading those toes, pressing the knees back a little, keeping that length through the spine. Nice deep breaths. Now with an inhale, we're coming into 5-pointed star. So straightening the legs, reaching the arms out, just a little bit above shoulder height. Spread the fingers really wide and lift your heart and your gaze a little. So I want you to think about taking up as much room as you can here. So through the crown of the head, through the hands and fingertips, down into the floor. Lovely. I love this one. Power pose. Okay, we're going to come into Trikonasana. So spin the left toes forwards and turn the right toes all the way out and lower the arms to shoulder height. Spread out those toes, keep those fingers nice and spread. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to reach forwards into that right hand and then spinning the right hand down and the left arm up, coming into Trikonasana. Keep a little bend in that right knee, keep the shoulders soft, maybe turning the gaze up, but if you need to just keep looking forwards for the minute, keeping the neck in line with the spine, that's absolutely fine. Breathe here. So space in both sides of the waist. Lovely length through the crown of the head. Okay, lovely. Breathing deep, finding those spaces. Okay, we're going to circle that left arm up and over the head, reach long, and then keep going as you bend the right knee, bringing both hands down to frame the right foot and spin the back foot so the heel lifts and you're in a low lunge. Knee comes down to the floor. We're going to rise into crescent lunge as we inhale. So nice gentle sweeping up of the arms. You can keep the hands separate, spread the fingers and just notice the space up in between the hands. Shoulders draw down away from the ears, so you've got that lovely spacious feeling around the neck. And a lengthening and opening of the front body. Really nice deep breaths. Lovely. Hands come back down to the floor, either side of the front foot. Lifting up the back knee, we're going to step back into downward dog. It's our first one, so keep it nice and soft, knees nice and squishy, bendy. Good. Inhale forwards to plank. Let's lower the knees. And exhale all the way down to the floor. So nice and slow, spreading the fingers, using the breath. Take those hands a little wider and a little further forwards if this is your first cobra of the day. And then pressing down into the hands, inhale. Opening up through the front of the body. Finding space, maybe lifting the chin a little, but keep the back of the neck nice and comfy. And then all the way back down to the floor. Slide the hands back in alongside your rib cage, tuck your toes. And then back into downward facing dog. And we'll just have a little movement in down dog and hold it for about 3 breaths. I want you to really spread the fingers and really spread the toes and really find as much space as you can. So even the feet a little wider than hip distance might be nice here. Just explore that, see how it feels. Really finding those pauses between the lovely long breaths. Okay, we're going to inhale the right leg up and back. And exhale to step it forwards in between the hands. So if you need to find a different way of doing that, maybe bringing that left knee down and helping it out, go ahead and modify your practice. And we're going to walk the right hand around, swiveling both feet, and we're coming all the way into a wide leg forward fold, so our toes face forwards here. I'm going to walk the hands forwards into a kind of downward dog in the upper body, keeping the hips back over the heels, and just take a moment to soften here through the shoulders, the upper back and chest, through the back of the legs, little bend in those knees. Lovely deep breaths. And then lifting up, walking the hands back in. We're going to keep the legs as they are. Hug the lower belly in. Circle the arms out wide as you come all the way up. And exhale those hands back down to heart center. Lengthening the back of the neck, growing tall. We're going to press off the left foot and step back up to the right. So we're on the other side. Okay, that's one round. So we'll do the second side equally slowly and spaciously. So don't feel any need to rush on. I'm going to cross that left leg up and over the right. Inhale. Taking hold of the left wrist and exhale into that side bend. Take some nice deep breaths here. See if you can focus your breath and awareness in the left lung, the left side of the rib cage. Breathing into the space that you're creating. Then inhale to come up and exhale to step out wide. Nice and controlled. We're going to turn the toes out, heels in, hands down through the center, come into our goddess squat. Again, just taking a pause here to breathe. Softening the shoulders, lifting the heart to meet the thumbs. Good. Coming into five-pointed star. Straightening the legs, spread the fingers, reach the arms out wide. And lift the heart and the gaze so you feel like the front body is really open. And spread as far as you can through the fingertips, through the toes, through the crown of the head. Good. Coming into Trikonasana on the left. So spin the right toes forwards, left toes all the way around. Arms at shoulder height. Inhale. And exhale, sliding forwards. Left hand to shin, right arm straight up from the shoulder, just taking time here. Lengthening both sides of the waist, lengthening the back of the neck, maybe starting to rotate a little towards the ceiling through that chest, so a sense of maybe rolling the right shoulder open, and breathe. Taking that right arm up and over your head, lengthening right side waist. Keep it circling as far as you can away from you, so that lovely long feeling as you come down into a lunge. Frame the left foot, wriggle the back toes away from you. And lower that right knee. Inhale to come up into crescent lunge with the palms facing each other and a bit of space and distance between them. And breathe. Soften the shoulders. Lift the chin just a little, feel the throat is open. And then exhale, hands down. Stepping back into downward facing dog as you inhale. Feet a little wider than hip distance, spread fingers, spread toes. On your next inhale, come forwards into plank, flow forwards, all the way through. And then exhale, lower the knees, lower belly and chest, elbows in towards you as you come down with control. Rising into cobra, you can keep your hands here or move them a little forwards, keeping that lower back feeling spacious and easy and comfortable. And then rolling down through the spine, shift the hands, tuck the toes, and back to downward facing dog with your breath. About 3 breaths in dog, and if you need to take a little movement, sway the hips from side to side or walk out the legs or turn the head. And then just finding stillness for a breath. We're going to sweep the left leg up and back. And then step that left foot to the front of your mat. Left hand walking towards the inside of the foot and swiveling the feet as you come all the way around to face the long edge of your mat. Walk the hands forwards, inhale to find length, and then exhale to fold. Now breathe. Think about creating space on your inhale and then dropping into it on your exhale. And then walking the hands back in. Just a little lift through the lower belly, nice and strong in the legs as you circle the arms out wide, inhaling. And exhale, hands to heart center. Coming back to the left side of your mat, so bending the right leg, pressing off that right leg, coming back up. We're going to take that one more time. So just take a pause, maybe close the eyes. Resolve to enjoy the spaces, not rush from one thing to the next. Okay, crossing that right leg up and over the left. Inhale, circle the arms. Holding onto the right wrist. Exhale. Take a breath here. Enjoy the feeling. Coming back up as you inhale. I'm going to step out wide into our goddess squat. Exhale. Just taking a pause, taking a breath. Finding spaces. And then pressing the floor away. 5-pointed star. Spreading fingers and toes, lengthening through the crown of the head. Trikonasana, turning left toes in, right toes out. Inhale. Exhale. Moving into that spacious feeling in the body. A little bit more of a sense of rotating the chest up. And maybe even taking that top arm, turning the palm away, circling it behind you, and then reaching the fingertips towards the right thigh. And then let that find some lovely space in this front left shoulder and rotate the chest a little more. Breathing here. Releasing that left arm, we're going to circle it all the way up overhead. Really lengthen away into the space in front of you as you turn the body. Bring the hands down either side of the front foot. Wriggle the back foot back into a lunge. Lower the left knee. Inhale to reach up and open to our crescent lunge. Lift the chin slightly, open the front body. And then slowly lower the hand. Frame the front foot, tuck the back toes, step it back to dog. Nice and wide through the feet. Spread the fingers. Spread the toes. Inhale forwards to plank. And exhale, lower down to the mat. Take your time. Rising into cobra, inhale. Opening the front body. And exhale, downward facing dog. And let's just pause here. So resist movement now, but just have a little softness in the knees, spread fingers and toes. And just noticing the space between your breaths as you breathe. And then inhale to sweep the right leg up. This time let's bend the right knee and open the hip. Just for a moment here, feeling the spaciousness at the front of the hips, inner thighs. Straightening that right leg and bringing the right foot to the top of the mat. Right hand comes to the inside and we're going to walk ourselves around into a wide leg forward fold. Facing the long edge of our mats, walk our hands away from us, spread the fingers and fold. The chest down. Nice deep breaths. See if you can let the head go and let the head hang and the neck be nice and loose. And then lifting up, walking those hands back in as you spin the heels in, turn the toes out. Oh no. Oh yeah, let's just do this. So coming back through goddess. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, hands to the heart center. Okay, turning the toes forwards, bend your left knee and step back to the right side of your mat. Okay, crossing the left leg over the right. Inhale, taking hold of the left wrist, exhale. Breathing. Inhale to rise, step out nice and wide, toes out, heels in. Exhale to goddess. Breathe here. See if you can press the palms together and draw the shoulders away from the ears. Just feel that connection through each hand and each arm. Press into the feet. Reach up and open into five-pointed star. Take up as much room as you can. Lovely. Trikonasana, spinning the right toes in, left toes out. Inhale. Exhale. Turning the heart towards the ceiling, maybe taking that top arm, wrapping it around the back, reaching for the front thigh, and just feeling as if you're finding more space across the chest and that right shoulder. Try and breathe into it. And then release the back arm, circle it overhead, reach long, start to turn the body, frame the left foot, wriggle the right toes back a little bit, lower the right knee. Inhale to rise. Opening the shoulders, softening them away from the ears, spreading the palms and the fingers really wide. And then exhale down. And stepping back to downward dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale to lower nice and slowly with control. Rising into cobra. And then downward facing dog when you're ready. And remembering here we're just finding a stillness in dog. A pause, a space to breathe into. Space between the breaths. And inhale, the left leg's going to rise slowly up, coming into that open dog as you drop the left foot over to the right. Lift the left knee and feel that lovely opening feeling across the hips. Straightening the left leg, stepping forwards between the hands, however you need to, into your lunge, and then walking the hands towards the front. So you spin the feet, toes forwards, heels back, reach the arms forwards and away. So make sure that your ankles, knees and hips still line up. You're not coming forwards into a dog, you're staying backwards here. Little softness in the knees. Breathing into the upper back, chest, shoulders. And then walking those hands back in. Let's do the same as we did on the other side. So heels in, toes out, sink the hips. And then inhale to circle the arms overhead as you straighten the legs. And exhale, hands to the heart center. Square the toes forwards, bend the right leg and push off. Back to the top of your mat. Great, well done. Let's come back into a nice spacious Tadasana, mountain pose, for a couple of breaths just to pause here. So maybe let the eyes close again. Noticing the space between your fingers and toes, between the legs, underneath the armpits. Back of the neck, across the face and inside the mouth. Come back to your breath. Nice long deep breaths with space in between them. And we're going to slowly open the eyes. We're going to turn ourselves around to face the short edge of the mat. Keeping the feet hip distance wide. Bring palms together at the heart centre with the fingers nice and spread apart, so that lovely space there. And just feel for a moment the space in the centre of your palms. So you've got the knuckle joints pressing in, the base of the hands pressing in. You've got that little cup in the middle there, that little space in the centre. Just focus your awareness there. And in the next inhale, we're going to circle the arms wide, reach them up overhead, touch the palms. Exhale, we're going to circle them wide again and dive forwards into a forwards fold. So take them nice and wide, bend the knees as you come down all the way over the legs. And then just take a few breaths to hang here. Maybe hold on to the opposite elbow, let the head relax in between the arms. So lovely decompression for the spine. Just imagining coming into awareness of the weight of the head. So really focus on the head being like a bowling ball heavy. And let it lengthen the spine down towards the floor. Almost like it's drawing each vertebrae away from the one next to it. Making spaces in between the bones. Release the arms. Inhale to come into a half lift. Hands to the shins. Shoulder blades towards one another as you lift the heart and the gaze a little forwards. And then exhale to fold back over the legs. We're going to slide the hands down to the floor and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale forwards into a plank. And then exhale to come to your belly. So full plank or kneeling plank, come all the way down. Untuck the toes. And then we're going to bring the left hand in for a little pillow for our head. Bend the right knee and reach around and take a hold of the top of the right foot. So bring your awareness into the front thigh and the right hip. And just finding a sense of opening and releasing and relaxing those muscles in the front of the leg, in the front of the hip. And you can imagine perhaps the front of the hip opening a little wider. Maybe pressing the pubic bone into the mat so you can feel more of a stretch here. And then gently releasing that one, swapping to the other side. Really find your breath. So I love lying on my belly for finding my breath because you can feel the inhale pressing into the floor. And you can feel, because the belly can't move very far, you can feel it moving into the ribcage really strongly. So really lovely deep breaths, focusing on that feeling of space in the body that you're filling up with breath. And then releasing that foot for a moment. We're going to see if we can come into a double, maybe into a bow pose here. Just see how you feel. If it's a bit strong for your lower back, go back into the single legs. Otherwise, bending both knees, reaching around, taking hold of the top of the feet, resting the forehead down. And it might be fine to stay here today and just really breathe into that stretch if you feel it in the thighs. But otherwise, let's do a nice deep inhale. And then as we exhale, kicking back into the hands, let that kick back, draw the shoulders back and lift up a little bit as you inhale. And we're just going to exhale and come back down. So with the breath. So inhale, kicking into the hands, opening the front body, drawing those shoulders back, and exhale to come down. Pause. Maybe take another one as you inhale. And exhale. Release the feet. Hands come in underneath your shoulders, so fingertips just underneath the shoulders, elbows in. And inhale to come into cobra. That should feel much freer now. And exhale, take the bottom back, come into child's pose. So let's have knees wide. Sink the hips back to the heels and reach the hands forwards here. Oh, I love this pose. We're just letting those hips sink to the heels. If you want to find a little more space in the upper back, you can just wriggle the fingers away from you a bit more. And then we're walking ourselves back in, coming all the way up. And we'll bring the knees back into parallel. Now let's come up and stand on our knees and come into a few camel poses. So difficult pose, but not everybody's favourite, but really nice for really using that space in the front body. Let's tuck the toes under, push down into the mat through the feet, and bring the hands onto that lower back. So just onto the bony part of your pelvis, and feel a little lift through the belly. So a sense that you're just gently drawing the pelvis, tucking the pelvis under just a little bit. And then think about squeezing the shoulder blades together and squeezing the elbows together as you lift the chest up towards the ceiling. So really a feeling of up rather than back. And breathe here. Really opening into the space in front of you. Breathing into it. And then we're going to release that. So just coming back up, untuck the toes, take a pause, just sit back on the heels, find some space, and notice how that feels. Notice if there's any change in your heart rate, how the body reacted, how the nervous system reacted to that. And then slowly rise back up onto your knees, tuck the toes, and we're going to try a slightly different variation. So if it's okay for you, you can come on, otherwise go back to the first one or back into child's pose. Going to turn towards your right heel and see if you can bring your hand back towards it. So we're in a bit of a twist as we reach back here. So that might feel okay. Just be very gentle with how you do this. So we're going to circle the left arm, and we're going to see if we can bring it up and over by the ear as we press the hips forwards and just find a little more openness in the front body in that left side. Now that might be enough. Find some lovely deep breaths here, or go back a stage. Or if it feels all right, you can start to turn your belly and your chest more up towards the ceiling and let that left arm reach away. And this is quite strong, so be careful, be gentle. Go back a stage. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being here, or child's pose, or kneeling. So the space that we create allows us to listen to our body. Okay, slowly coming back out. So you're going to sweep that arm back around, turning a little bit more back to centre, hugging the belly in as you use the hands on the back to come up. Have a little pause, coming onto the other side when you're ready. So look towards your left heel, bring your hand down onto your left heel, just see how it feels. Take your time. Maybe as you press your hips forwards, you might be able to circle that right arm up and over the head. You might be able to, or might feel like you want to, lift the gaze, the chest up towards the ceiling, press the hips forwards and reach back. Breathing there. And then slowly, when you're ready, coming out with control. Untuck the toes. Sit back down onto your heels and pause again. come into child's pose. So knees wide, walk the hands forwards, take a moment. Coming into a side stretch here, walking the hands over to the right, maybe bringing that left hand on top of the right hand, letting the left hip sink down towards the left heel and breathing into that space. And the left side of the body. And then slowly walking the hands back through centre, bring them all the way over to the other side. And breathe. And back into centre. Coming back up onto all fours. Tucking your toes and finding downward facing dog. And just again a little movement if that feels nice. So walk out the legs, bend and straighten the knees here. We're going to come into a pigeon pose. If pigeon isn't great for you, you can always come over onto your back and you can bring the right ankle onto the left thigh. So it's a really good alternative. You can bring it in towards you, however works in your body. If you're all right in pigeon, then bringing that right foot forwards, turning the leg out so the right knee comes towards the right wrist, wriggling the left foot back, walking the hands in, so you're in a pigeon. If you need something under that right hip, you can, maybe a pillow, if you've got a cushion or something like that, or a block here. Pigeon is a really lovely opener for the hips, but it's quite strong. So again, take it easy and you can take the alternative posture if you need to. Nice deep breaths here. And then we're going to walk ourselves down onto our forearms if that's all right in your body. Try not to be uneven through the hips, so try and bring your weight into the centre. Finding your breath. We're going to prop ourselves up onto our right hand, turn the left forearm so it goes across the mat. And then start to turn your belly and your chest towards your right leg. Maybe, if it feels okay, reaching that right arm up and out, up towards the ceiling. And then bending that right elbow, sliding the back of the hand around the waist and turning a little bit more into a twist here. Just take it easy, be gentle. Listen to your body. Breathing into that twist. And then stretch the arm up. Release it back to the mat. We're going to walk our hands back in. Just see how we feel. Bending the left knee. So that might be enough for you. Maybe if you've got a feeling that you've got enough space in the body to, reach that right arm back and see if you can take a hold of the foot. A strong stretch in the shoulder, in the thigh, in the hips. See if you can open the front body and breathe. And then gently release the foot. Hands back to the front. Then just lifting the hips up a little to tuck the back toes under. We're going to come back out. So you can come back out through dog, through all fours, whatever feels good. And then pigeon on the other side. So that left leg coming forwards. If you're on your back, swap sides. Letting that right leg lengthen away behind you. Just taking your time. Using your breath. Come down onto your forearms. Turning that right forearm across the mat. Taking your time to turn the belly towards the left thigh, the chest, pushing into the floor through that right forearm. So you're not dumping your weight into the shoulder, but you're pressing the ground away. Reach up and open through that left hand. Into a twist. Then bending the left elbow, reach around, maybe finding the left foot. I can find the foot. Roll the left shoulder back. It might not be that your arrangement of your body allows you to find the foot, so don't worry too much about that. And then releasing the arm, bringing that hand all the way back down, and then walking yourself back in. Or up on the fingertips, and maybe exploring bending the right leg. Reaching around with the left hand to find the top of the foot. So you're in a twist. It's quite strong. Draw the heel in towards you. Deep breaths. And all of these are just suggestions. If it doesn't work in your body today, then release it, come back a stage, see how you feel. Find some space and breathe. Good. Release that carefully, gently. Coming back out, final downward facing dog. Let's take a nice deep inhale together and let it go with a big sigh. And then bending the knees, lowering them back to the mat. We're going to come onto our backs, so just come over to one side. Taking your time to roll down onto your back. And then a little pause here, just softening everything into the floor. Okay, let's hug the knees into the chest. Lengthen the back of the neck as you draw the knees in. A little rock from side to side here, massaging out the low back. And then we're going to separate the knees, bring the soles of the feet together, reach through and take a hold of the feet, and use the elbows to help press the knees apart as you just come into a kind of upside down Baddha Konasana. Let's take a couple of breaths there. See if you can soften and relax the inner thighs, pelvic floor, lower belly. And then releasing that. Bringing the knees together and the ankles together, take the arms out wide. You can always put the feet down on the floor here or keep them up to you. I'm going to bring the legs over to the left. Take your time, see if you can control the movement and turn the head to the right. See if you can allow that right shoulder to soften into the mat. So we've got that lovely twist across the body. Maybe take that right leg up and over the left if it feels good for you. Just see how your body feels, what it needs. Really lovely deep breaths. See if you can start to find that lovely spacious feeling in the face again, in the jaw. And then slowly we'll come back through centre and all the way over to the other side. Turning the head to the left, maybe taking that top leg across if it feels nice for you. Left shoulder working towards the mat. And just settle here, breathing deep. And then slowly bring that back into the centre. Okay, we're going to come into Shavasana, but like a 5-pointed star version of Shavasana. So legs really wide, toes outwards. Take the arms out to the sides, maybe even a little higher than your shoulders. Have a wriggle, lengthen the back of the neck. And then we're just going to take an inhale and reach everything out really strongly. So spread the toes, spread the fingers, lengthen them away. So maybe just lift the arms a fraction off the floor. Nice long big stretch through the body. And then exhale. And let it all go. Let the eyes close. And soften and relax here into Shavasana. And bring your awareness and attention to the natural rise and fall of your breath. Notice the flow of the breath in the body. Notice the movement of breath in the body. Just allowing a feeling of heaviness now to come over your entire body. Bones made of lead. So heavy that you could leave an impression in the floor beneath you. So heavy. You could not move if you wanted to. Now allow a feeling of lightness to come over the body. Almost as if you were so light you could float up away from the floor into the space above you. And then keep floating like a feather upwards, out of your house, or the space that you're in, into the air. And just notice as you look up the broad, wide space above you, the openness of the sky, everything in your world is now beneath you, and all you can see is space. Notice the feeling that comes over you, the contentment, the lightness, the ease, and resolve to carry that feeling of space with you, no matter what next week brings. You can always come back to this feeling. You can always come back a step. And going back a step is okay. Coming back, pausing, enjoying the space. And slowly let that image fade. Coming back into your body, the physical space that you're in. Your physical body as it lies here on the floor. And start to bring a little movement back through fingers and toes. Exploring the space around you, moving the wrists and ankles, arms and legs. Bring those legs in towards one another, bring the arms over your head. Take a final inhale and stretch long. And then exhale. Step those feet in. Roll yourself over to one side. And slowly bring yourself up to sitting. Coming to a comfortable seated position. Palms together at your heart centre. Close the eyes. Take a moment to notice. Bow your head. Namaste. So So thank you for practicing with me, either live or if you're getting the recorded version of this class. I'm really enjoying these Saturday mornings. Just feels like back at class teaching you. I can't wait to see you in person, but equally it's a great way to connect. So keep coming, keep tuning in. I will put them on YouTube. I failed last week. I will put both of them, this one and last week's one, on YouTube if you know anyone who can't access Facebook who wants to access the classes. Let me know if you have any topics you would like me to look at. Thank you, Helen. Ah, lovely. Hi, Hayley, Martin. Yay, Veronique. Hello, Lisa, my love. Hi, Natalie. Emma. Oh, lovely. So nice to see so many of you, or see so many of your names and get feedback. So do let me know if there's anything you want me to look at or focus on. Otherwise, I just do whatever comes to me the day before. So, lovely. So look after yourselves and look after each other, and I will see you all really, really soon. Have a lovely weekend. Oh, yay, Jack. Yeah, it's lovely to see you. Oh, I can't see your face, but maybe we'll have a video chat this week, shall we? All right. Lots of love, everyone. Bye.